Hey, what's up, YouTube? JayDub here with my TNA Slammiversary 2009 review. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click that yellow button over there. Thanks. Okay, I was at the pay-per-view live, in person, in color, and everything, so I'm going to be talking about a little bit of the live experience and talking about the matches, which I'm going to get to right now. First match tonight was King of the Mountain match for the X Division Championship. Suicide, Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, Jay Lethal, and Consequences Creed faced off in the King of the Mountain match. Suicide ends up retaining his X Division Championship. How the match ended, the ladder, they had one ladder in the middle of the ring, set up, and they had one ladder like hanging, like extended from the like the penalty cage. They had one extended from the penalty cage. Consequences Creed was laid out on the ladder, so he provided like a foundation for the ladder so it won't tip over and anything. So Alex Shelley goes to climb the ladder to hook the championship on, but Suicide crawls across the extended ladder, jumps, attacks Alex Shelley, knocks him off the ladder. He picks up the championship, hooks it on there. The crowd, they were booing and, giving him heat because we were in Michigan and we wanted one of the hometown boys, either Chris Sabin or Alex Shelley, to win the match, but neither one of them did, with Suicide retaining the match. Another high point in the match, besides the ending, was when Suicide he like forward suplexed somebody on an extended ladder. It was extended from the turnbuckle, and Jay Lethal was on the back of the ladder this time. So he like forward suplexed somebody onto the ladder. I think it was one of the Motor City Machine Guns, or it could have been Consequences Creed. He forward suplexes that person onto the ladder. Jay Lethal catapults off of the ladder into the middle of the ring. That was pretty crazy. And low points of the match. Suicide was no selling like hell. I don't know if you guys saw this on TV, but Suicide, he comes out of the penalty cage from getting pinned. He gets up, tries to get into the ring while he's on the apron. Jay Lethal goes to attack him with a forearm. He no-sold. Jay Lethal picks up the ladder, hits Suicide with the ladder. No-sold. Then Consequences Creed and Jay Lethal try to double team Suicide, but again, he no-sold, and then he gets into the ring, start kicking ass and everything. One thing I noticed about him, he gets his ass kicked for most of the match, but then he also gets the high spots. Then he ends up winning the match. That's kind of, backwards. And he was once again probably one of the least impressive ones in the match, but of course the Motor City Machine Guns, they were probably the most impressive ones in the match. Next match of the night, Christopher Daniels versus Shane Douglas for Daniels' roster spot in TNA. This match, it was nothing special. Christopher Daniels, I have to give him a hand clap in this match because that just shows how much talent he possesses, because he went into the match and he was wrestling basically a fucking sandbag. And Shane Douglas, Ricky Steamboat may still have it, but Shane Douglas does not have it. But the match didn't totally suck because Daniels was so talented that the match wasn't brought down. Like usually when you face somebody of lower ability, it tends to bring your ability down also in that match, like dragging you down. But it didn't drag Christopher Daniels down, but it still wasn't enough to make this match good. It was an okay match. I won't say it was horrible, but it was an okay match, and the right person won. Angelina Love versus Tara for the Knockouts Championship. Angelina Love ends up winning this match because she cheated. I wanted Tara to win this match. I'm a big Victoria fan, Widow Peak freak, and I wanted her to win this match, but the beautiful people ended up spraying hairspray into her face, thus allowing Angelina Love to get the pin. 1, 2, 3. It was a good back and forth match. I'd say Victoria probably had the upper hand for most of the match, and she was actually handling the beautiful people, all three of them, by herself. Good for a while, but they end up getting the best of her when she used the hairspray. Abyss and Taylor Wilde versus Raven and Daphne in a Monstrous Ball mixed tag team match. One spot I'm going to go to directly in this match, Taylor Wilde goes to the stage, where the wrestlers come out and everything. She goes to the top of the stage while Daphne is laid out on the table below. Taylor Wilde jumps off the table, does a crossbody, bam, lands right on Daphne, puts her through the table. That's something you'll never see in WWE with the Divas and everything, and I'll just have to give them another hand clap for that. This was a pretty it was a pretty good match. It was very hardcore, and the women actually got into the hardcore action with the trash can lids and everything. They actually went into the audience, but they weren't where I was. They went like the other way, and yeah. So Abyss and Taylor Wilde end up winning this match because Abyss does a black hole slam on Raven into the pile of thumbtacks. People were going crazy for the thumbtacks and everything, and Abyss ends up winning the match for his team. Next, Sting versus Matt Morgan. Now, I said Matt Morgan was a person that botches a lot of moves, and Sting is a person that should retire. And after this match, I still say the same thing. But I will say this match, this Matt Morgan match was not as horrible as the matches that he's had with Abyss on pay-per-views before, and this Sting match was not as horrible as some of the Sting matches that I've seen before, because Matt Morgan, he was in control for most of the match, but Sting, he wasn't like a crash test dummy, where he just gets hit or something and then he just lays there like Sting usually does, or disappears or something like that. So he was actually engaged into the match, but he ends up winning, and there was like a botched portion in the match where Matt Morgan, he goes to do a move on Sting. Sting was supposed to counter the move into a Scorpion Death Drop, but they ended up botching that. But yeah, it wasn't that good of a match, but it wasn't a bad match either. Next match tonight, Beer Money Incorporated versus Team 3D. I'll have to say the crowd was probably more in favor of Beer Money than they were Team 3D, but you probably couldn't tell because Team 3D, they have their usual things that they do to get pops from the crowd, like they do the get the tables thing, and they do the what's up and testify and all that stuff that they usually do because they know they'll get reactions from the crowd. That's the only reason why it probably seemed like the crowd was chanting more for them. But Beer Money ends up winning this match, wins the TNA World Tag Team Championships, kind of with the assist from the British Invasion, because they did come down to the ring and interfere with the match. But Beer Money wins nonetheless, and I'm happy that they won the championships from Team 3D. Final match of the night, Kurt Angle and AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Jeff Jarrett, and Mick Foley, all for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship in the final, second and final King of the Mountain match. AJ Styles was supposed to win this match. AJ Styles was destined to win this match. The fans around the world, all the TNA fans were behind him. The fans in the arena were behind him. Destiny was really behind him. And the reason why I say Destiny was behind him, because like the craziest thing happened. He was on the ladder with somebody else, and they had the championship, and they're going up, trying to hook it on, but then they start fighting each other and everything. So both of them fall off. The championship falls off also, and guess where the championship lands? Right around his neck. The championship lands like right around his neck. If that wasn't an indication that he should have won this match, I don't know what the hell was an indication that he should have won this match. But going on, he was about to win the match. He goes up the ladder, but then Samoa Joe, out of nowhere, delivers a powerbomb to him. He picks up the championship, goes up the ladder. Kurt Angle goes up the other side. Samoa Joe hands off the belt to Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle hooks the belt on the hook, and Kurt Angle was the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion for I think it was like the third time or fourth time, whatever it is. But that's who I wanted to win. But I would have been happy with either Kurt Angle or AJ Styles, and Kurt Angle, he ends up winning the match. Samoa Joe, I'll have to say the crowd wasn't really behind Samoa Joe. They really didn't start cheering for him until he put on like a Chris Osgood jersey from the Detroit Red Wings, and the crowd, before Kurt Angle came down to the ring, the crowd was ready to start cheering for Kurt Angle. They were going crazy for Kurt Angle, but he just happened to come out there with a Pittsburgh Penguins jersey, so the crowd was like not putting up with that at all. But TNA, that was very cheap, and yeah, that was very cheap. Couple of notes, and also that last King of the Mountain match was it was a great match. Mick Foley, he put his body on the line like all the time. AJ Styles, he was probably in control for most of the match, and Jeff Jarrett, as long as he didn't win, I'm happy with him. But yeah, Dixie Carter, before the show starts, like, I was on the floor. There's 6 rows. I was in the 5th row. Dixie Carter was like behind the 6th row, meeting and greeting fans. I was like this far away from her, and I didn't pull out my camera or anything. Like, I took footage of most of the night. I have most of the main event on camera, and I have like footage of all through the night, but I didn't even think to pull out a camera when she was there, because I was just like amazed by her. I had 2 cameras in my pocket, and all I could do was just like the yeah, because she is like really beautiful in person, like super beautiful, and I'm not exaggerating at all. But notes on the crowd, like the first level totally full, second level had like sections that weren't full, but for the most part it was full. Like, they had about 3 separate sections that didn't have any people sitting in them, and had sporadic seats throughout there. And yeah, it was the best TNA pay-per-view this year, and that's why I'll end this video. Peace out.